Coming up on this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we learn about what you'll need to get a beach sticker from town this season. We see what it takes to put together the Falmouth High School After Prom event. We highlight the 2015 FCTV Volunteer of the Year, and we take a look at a new playground in town. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. It was a rainy Memorial Day, but that didn't stop the town from having its annual parade and ceremony on the main library lawn to honor members of the military who made the ultimate sacrifice. Hundreds attended the event and various veterans spoke about the sacrifice that many have made. The keynote speaker was Elizabeth S. Sweeney, a retired lieutenant colonel with the United States Air Force. Thank you to FCTV staff and members for the footage. Beginning on Monday, June 13th, the Falmouth Police Department will start enforcing a 3-hour parking rule on Main Street. Up until the 13th, violators will receive warnings or courtesy tickets. The actual $10 fines begin June 13th. The Shining Sea Bikeway has a new addition, a bike fix-it station at Bud's Stop Pavilion, located at the Depot Ave parking lot. The Falmouth Bikeways Committee donation account paid for the piece of equipment, which has a pump, screwdriver, wrench, tire lever, Allen wrenches, and more. Beach season is here, but we've got some time before beach stickers start getting checked at town beaches. We recently spoke with Don Hoffer, the Falmouth Beach Superintendent, about those stickers and specifically who can get them, how to get them, and when they're going to start getting checked. As of May 25th, the Beach Department will be selling beach stickers from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday. Beginning June 25th, the beach house will be open 7 days a week.
A resident is identified either as owning property or paying some type of tax, excise tax or something, to the town of Falmouth. A non-resident is someone that has to have a residence in Falmouth. To clarify that a little bit, if you're renting, you must be renting at an address in Falmouth. For a resident, the price is $30 for the year. And all we need is your registration and the $30. And this year, for the first time, we're accepting credit cards. Up until now, it was check or cash. The non-resident has to bring their registration and some evidence that they're staying in Falmouth. Non-residents have a choice of a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and $60, $70, $80, $90 respectively. The seasonal cost for a non-resident is $200.
The town has 3 beaches that day trippers can park at a daily rate. The public side of Old Silver is $20, Surf Drive is $15, and Minot is $10.
Well, we sell also what we call a hotel-motel pass, which is $10, and it's anybody, Holiday Inn, bed and breakfast, anybody that has people staying with them at any hotel, motel, can buy those. The manager can come and buy them from us. And then if you're staying there, you can buy one of those tickets from wherever you're staying. And it lets you into any beach except the resident side of Old Silver. And right now, as we're talking, all the beaches are wide open. People don't realize the gates are open 24 hours a day until the 25th of June.
In addition to maintaining beaches, the Beach Department also offers swim lessons and lifeguard training. More information can be found on the town's website, falmouthmass.us. Just search for Beach Department. Goodwill Playground is officially done. The project was delayed a few weeks due to weather, but the structures are now up and ready to be used. DPW's field supervisor, Chad Pelletier, tells us about all its features.
Well, it's kind of one of the biggest projects we've done so far. It's pretty big. It's 140 feet long by 86 feet wide. It's got a 2 to 5-year-old section, a 5 to 12-year-old section. You know, it's created for all ages pretty much.
We spoke to Chad during the last few days of construction. Now the site boasts all of the structures and leveled wood chips. There are about 12 inches of playground chips to absorb any falls, and the entire playground is fenced in.
Well, behind me we have the big dome. Is 20 feet tall, and it's close to 25 feet, 26 feet wide. It's pretty big. It's fun. You get to climb any way you want. And the bridge and the monkey bars behind us, it's all designed not to touch the ground, so you gotta keep yourself above the ground. It's a challenge, you know. And then we got a bunch of supernova that you spin, and it just spins you out of control. It's really fun. Well, the 2 to 5 year old sections, it's got a lot of different. It's a lot lower, a lot easier for them to maneuver on, and it's not anything where they can't hold on to it. It's designed so they can keep themselves from falling. It's got nets to climb on. It's really fun. It's really fun. It's got horses over there you can swing on and all kinds of stuff. It's fun. It feels good. I've done a lot of them. I've done every school in town, and the enjoyment I get out of it is watching all the kids play on it. You know, as soon as I open it up, they go out and they have fun. They watch us build, especially at the schools. They watch us build them from start to finish, and they've had a blast watching us, and I have a blast playing on them. That's my enjoyment, is watching all the kids.
Thank you to the Falmouth DPW for their time on that piece and their hard work on the playground. Falmouth Academy broke ground for a new performing arts center that hopes to not only benefit the Falmouth Academy community, but the town of Falmouth as a whole.
I'm Stephen Duffy, head of school here at Falmouth Academy, and we are here today because we are breaking ground on a building project which will be an expansive renovation and expansion of our Performing Arts Center. This has been a project that's a long time coming. It predates my arrival here at the school. It's part of our campus master plan. And I think the original impetus for it was that our current Performing Arts Center has done triple duty in years past. We've called it the Cafegymtorium. It's been a cafeteria, it's been a gym, it's been an auditorium, and gradually as the school has grown, we've been able to kind of narrow it down until it really is a performing space.
And as chair of the board, it is the role of the board to spend time looking into the far future and dreaming and thinking about what the future school needs and should look like.
We're in for 8 or 9 months of noise, dirt. There will be some inconveniences. But when it's completed, the new Performing Arts Center at Falmouth Academy will be transformative. It will benefit the school by providing our performing arts programs high-quality spaces to rehearse and showcase their talents. And it will benefit Falmouth and the Upper Cape by providing a state-of-the-art, climate-controlled facility within walking distance of Main Street.
By caring and joyful teaching and learning, which is the core of why we're doing this whole thing, but further enhanced by community participation and cultural growth. I believe that communities like ours define themselves partly through the structures they create. And let this new Performing Arts Center reflect the aspirations of the love of learning. Thank you very much.
When we're finished with this project, we will have a new music room. We will have a state-of-the-art, climate-controlled, and larger Performing Arts Center. We'll have a green room, a set design shop, control booth, everything that a fully functioning theater needs to be at the center of the school and hopefully at the center of culture and arts at the town as well. We have a vibrant and thriving performing arts program. We like to think of ourselves as being on the cutting edge, not cutting programs. The timeline is we're gonna start the actual construction right after school gets out. We think it's going to take between 8 or 9 months. I'm calling it 9 months and saying that we're giving birth to a performing arts center.
Thank you to FCTV's Michael Sperling for that piece. It's time now for 3 Things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
The Board of Selectmen welcomed 2 newly elected selectmen, Megan English Braga and Ralph Herbst, to the board.
I'd certainly like to welcome Megan English Braga and Ralph Herbst as our 2 members to the Board of Selectmen, and we look forward to working together over this next year and to see the town business served as best as we can. So congratulations, and thank you for being willing to step forward. I know you've both been to some of our meetings and see what we go through, and so willing to still put your name forward is certainly something we appreciate.
The selectmen voted to keep Doug Jones as chairman and Susan Moran as the vice chair of the board. Ray Jack gave his monthly report on the water filtration and wastewater projects and the status of construction as the summer season begins.
So where we were back in April, the 2 circles up there, the one on top, I would say focus in the area between the two yellow lines there, because that represents the trunk main that was going in on Mara Vista from Randolph to Iroquois. So that's where it's at now. So you can see Falmouth Heights is done, Route 28 is done, and the lower portion of Mara Vista is done. The slide that I showed you on Young showed you that the road is actually in pretty good shape. He has some cracking in front of his house, and I know he had concerns, and there will be others, because wherever one road gets a full width overlay and nice pretty black asphalt, and the other one gets a black strip down there, that black strip will turn gray, but it's not a paving project. It is a sewer project, so there is not enough money to be out there paving all of those roads.
For more information regarding construction and road closures, visit the Falmouth Town website. The Zoning Board of Appeals approved with a 4-to-1 vote the Megantic Crossing 40B project on North Falmouth Highway. The proposed 12-unit project was revived by Michael Galasso after the project was abandoned by Cubby Construction Corporation.
I feel it's too dense. I feel it's, they've done two things. They've increased the size of the units, substantially improved the design, added garage, but also added living space, and they've added more units, and now we've gone from, I think, what used to be like 12% lot coverage by structure up to 24.6, and we're almost at 50% total lot coverage by structures, paving, and parking, and I think it's too much.
The board approved the project, however conditioned it be a 10-unit project rather than 12 units originally proposed by Megantic Crossing LLC.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out FCTV's website and click on the Government Channel 15 link at fctv.org. For years now, the Mayfair has taken place at the Taft Playground and Bell Tower Field in Woods Hole. Falmouth in Focus reporter Brian Sullivan tells us about this annual tradition.
The weather on Saturday, May 28th, had the feel of midsummer on Cape Cod. And if you didn't look at your calendar, you may have thought there was a 4th of July party going on in the center of Woods Hole. It's how they kick off the summer season down this way. It's the Mayfair, hosted by the Woods Hole Community Association at Taft Playground and Bell Tower Field every year for over 40 years on Memorial Day weekend, with games and rides, food and drink, and fun for the whole family. No matter what you call it, we were hard-pressed to find anyone here that had been to the Woods Hole Mayfair at any other location. But rumor has it, it wasn't always here.
I believe it got started by someone who was doing it in her yard, and it just got bigger for her each year, and someone up in Quissit, and then she moved it down to the ballpark one year, and it became more of a Woods Hole community thing then.
And nothing says community gathering like multiple generations getting outside. No TVs or cell phones, kids using their entrepreneurial spirit and hosting games like 9-pin bowling, which seemed to be a huge hit.
Right down the middle. Come on, Tom!
Some kids were selling baked goods, some adults were selling drinks, and of course, there was popcorn. It was like a Norman Rockwell painting come to life, right down to the local politician running for office. Of course, it wouldn't be a fair without a grill cooking burgers and dogs. There were folks who had been here every year for the past 25 years, and little ones here for the first time ever taking rides on horses. Local artisans were there to set up booths and sell their wares. They even added a circus element to the festival. While there may not have been a high wire, the acrobatics of these young men seemed pretty death-defying. The whole event had the word community written all over it, which seems to be what they're aiming for year after year.
It's just a gathering, community gathering for the season, and everybody is here to enjoy the spring and get together, say hello.
In Woods Hole at the Mayfair, I'm Brian Sullivan for Falmouth in Focus.
Thank you to Brian for his work on that story. There's lots going on around town this month, and we're going to highlight just a few upcoming events in our Falmouth in Focus calendar. This Sunday, June 5th, the 300 Committee Land Trust is having its Petals to Parcels event, a fun bike ride that introduces participants to a number of conservation lands around town. The event starts at 9:30 a.m. at Chappaquiddick Beach. Registration information can be found on the 300 Committee's website, 300committee.org. On Sunday, June 12th, the Falmouth Commodores will have their first home game of the season against Harwich. FCTV will be covering a number of home games this season, including the next day, Monday, June 13th. You can find out the entire Cape League schedule at Commodore's website, falmouthcommodores.com. Highfield Hall is holding an open house to showcase its new exhibit, Ken Reiki, a 60-year journey on June 26th from 12:30 to 3 p.m. The prints in the show encompass diverse techniques from traditional woodblock, lithography, etching, aquatint, silkscreen, and more contemporary digital innovations. The show debuted in Tokyo in 2015, and Highfield Hall and Gardens is its exclusive U.S. venue. And FCTV's Mazer Gallery artist this month is Grace Hopkins, whose bold and colorful work will be on display until June 30th. Grace will showcase her unmanipulated photographs that feature objects up close that people often mistaken for paintings. We're going to take a quick break to introduce you to an adoptable cat from People for Cats. When we come back, we'll have a story about Falmouth High School's After Prom event, VIPS, the Volunteers in Public Schools, and FCTV's Volunteer of the Year. Stay with us.
Mimi is a very pretty domestic short-hair female. She's 3 years old, sports a tabby coat pattern accented by patches of orange that are highlighted with white on her chest, paws, and boots. She has very expressive, big, pale green eyes. Mimi's friendly, outgoing, affectionate, loves to lap sit, and readily purrs up a storm. She's a sweetheart and guaranteed to steal your heart. Mimi's still quite slender. She's just finished raising 3 kittens. She's now been spayed and is looking for her forever home. Why not come in and meet this little sweetheart? More information can be found on the People for Cats website, peopleforcats.org.
Welcome back. For years now, Falmouth High School students have been invited to attend an after-prom event at the Gus Canny Community Center. FCTV reporter Brian Sullivan got a sneak peek at all of the work that goes into creating a fun environment for the students.
If you think the Gus Canty Community Center looks different from the outside, the inside will be nearly unrecognizable. By now, all of these decorations will have been taken down and the center will be back to normal. But for the 3 days leading up to the prom, the interior was transformed into an after-prom oasis. It's been an annual occurrence here in Falmouth since the early 1990s, and only a few hours after we filmed this, there would be hundreds of prom-goers roaming from one themed room to the next. If it had been my after-prom party, I may not have made it past the first room with the karaoke machine. Back in 1994, it probably wasn't too cool to show up for something that was organized by adults held at the community center, but they also probably didn't have a karaoke bar back then. Now here we are 22 years later, and they're expecting upwards of 300 to 400 students to show up after prom. For those who may not know, the Falmouth After Prom Party is put on so that kids can have a safe place to go where there will be no drugs and alcohol. It's a great way for kids to not feel the peer pressure, and it definitely puts parents' minds at ease. And while the idea may not have been very popular back when it was first offered, there was a long-term objective.
It was difficult. Students would say, "Why are you doing this to us? Why are you making us do this? We don't want this." The plan for me was to change norms. Back then, Linda Hamilton and myself went to the high school at lunchtime to try and convince students to attend because prom was their rite of passage. And presently, it is now, students are anxious, eager, and for many, it's the thing to do.
As you make your way through the center, you can see that a great amount of detail and effort is being put forth into each room. And if you think the kids have to raise a lot of money to get something like this off the ground, you'd be wrong.
It's a gift from the community. There are so many people that donate money and food from the community, parents and town members and businesses, to make it fun and safe for the kids.
Planning for this after party begins as far back as August of the previous year. Chair appointments are made and a theme is picked, leaving the team with 5 rooms to decorate.
There's one person in charge of each room that comes up with an idea. And our theme this year is Celebrate Good Times, and good times can be birthday party, Valentine's Day, as you'll see, New Year's Eve, Celebrate the Future, all these different, Celebrate the Summer, 4th of July. So basically, it's a broad spectrum, and you can kind of take what you want from it.
Upstairs in the teen center is the New Year's Eve room, where the casino usually is, and this year was no exception. And if the kids want to stay all night, they're more than welcome.
The official opening for our after prom starts at 11 o'clock so that the seniors can start coming in. And we close the doors at 12:15 so that the juniors who do want to go home and change into more comfy clothes have the opportunity to do that and still come here on time.
Any student that doesn't make it back by 12:15 will not be allowed in, but all the students that are there can stay until 5 a.m. Reporting from the birthday party room at the Gus Canty Community Center, I'm Brian Sullivan for Falmouth in Focus.
Thank you to the volunteers at the After Prom event for their time. The Falmouth Volunteers in Public Schools does a lot for our community. FCTV's Educational Channel 14's Ryan Weber put together this piece to highlight just some of the work.
Hi, my name is Tracy Crago, and I'm the director for the Falmouth Volunteers in Public Schools program. Falmouth High School is lucky to have the College Mentoring Program. In bringing this program to the high school, Jack Sorsky has had many years as both a businessman and a guidance department head. And what he brings to us is the opportunity for volunteers to get involved with students and literally change lives.
Some of the things that the mentor does is take them on college visits, but more importantly, it gives them something that we found to be extremely important for them. And that's provide this human emotion of hope. And when that is established in a student and it takes root, magical things can happen. And I've seen this happen multiple times, that people don't know that they can go and go to college where they didn't think was possible before.
It's been really an enriching and rewarding experience. And the other thing I wanted to add, not just the relationship that I have developed with Haley, but watching Falmouth High School and how everyone's come together for you and thinking that this is still happening for other students, it's really impressive.
Well, the mentor program for the high school students, in my eyes, has been just incredible. It has given students who might otherwise think they are not college bound a lens and an opportunity to see that they are very much indeed college material. And in fact, I was just reading an article in the Boston Globe 2 Sundays ago about how middle school students who may come from some marginalized populations, especially socioeconomically challenged families, the middle school students often think they can't afford to go to college, so why bother paying attention and doing your schoolwork? And what the research showed was that, in fact, colleges look quite favorably upon socioeconomically disadvantaged students, and there's a lot of money out there for those students. So your program, I think, has really helped students who have otherwise thought they don't have a chance to go to college because they can't afford it, realize, you know what, I can, and I'm college bound. I think another positive is it has brought community members into the school to see the whole college process, the academic process that is involved, and it's created relationships for these students with community members that has been extremely positive.
To find out more information about VIPS, give them a call at 508-548-1621 or email vips@falmouth.k12.ma.us. Thank you to Ryan for his work on that piece. FCTV recently held its annual meeting of members, an opportunity for staff to recognize outstanding members and sponsors from 2015. In this member spotlight, we'd like to highlight one of the award recipients, Volunteer of the Year, Allison Leshen.
So I'm a marine scientist, and I had been getting very interested in how scientists communicate science, and in general thinking that we weren't very good at it. And I'd started kind of learning more about ways of being more effective at that. And so when I retired, I was looking for ways to put that into action, I guess. And I was very involved with the 300 Committee Land Trust here in town, and I wanted to learn how to make videos too, as one way of communicating what they did and why it's important, and how to get people involved. And so that led me to take the field class here. And then one thing kind of led to another, and the rest is history, I guess. And I started doing little, short promo and information videos for various organizations around town that I was interested in, and just got really into it. And one of the kind of unexpected benefits has been, first of all, of course, meeting all the people in those organizations, but also if FCTV asks that I go shoot some event, it might be something that I wouldn't have thought to go to. But once I get there, it's like, wow, this is really interesting. I'm glad I came. And so it's been really great in a lot of different ways. I feel like FCTV is this unknown, not unknown, but little known, amazing resource. And, for what is it, $30 a year or something, you can join, you can take all the classes, you can get all the equipment, and really just about anybody, it seems like, could benefit in some way, whether it's to promote their business or their organization or a cause that they believe in, or just to go and shoot some of the events that happen around town and get the word out about those to other people. It's really, I think, a remarkable resource, and we're really lucky to have it.
Congratulations to Allison, and thank you for all of her hard work for FCTV and specifically this show. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have a follow-up from a piece from a few months ago, Falmouth's Drug Take Back Day. Welcome back. Troy will be back with us next episode. A few episodes back, we featured Falmouth Drug Take Back Day. We followed up with the folks behind the event to see how it went and to see how Gosnold of Cape Cod is trying to help those battling with addiction.
The National Drug Take Back Day on April 30th was a very successful event at the Falmouth Police Department. We had more folks than ever before for the last 10 takebacks since September of 2010. We had over 130 individuals return medications here for a total of 630 pounds, which was more than any other town on the Cape collected. So it's been a very beneficial initiative for the community, who has collected 3,500 pounds of unused and unwanted medications since 2010. We are really pleased with the turnout, and I think the high numbers of returns are a sad indication of the opiate crisis in our community. But the upside of that is there's a heightened awareness amongst folks and what they can do to help avoid the crisis any further than it's already gotten. So by reducing accessibility and educating people on how to return their medications, and educating them also about the drug kiosk that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the Falmouth PD lobby.
We've really been focused on like prevention and early intervention and education, just really getting out into the community and letting people know about the disease of addiction and like what resources are available. So a lot of the stuff we've been doing, I've met with clergy and had little events at churches where they want to know, the congregation wants to know, people in our congregation are affected, what resources are there? So you go there and you talk to them about that. We've also been into schools talking to students and teachers about like, early stage stuff. They think that, alcohol and cigarettes and marijuana are not as big of a deal. It's the misconception because there's so much emphasis on the opiate epidemic right now. So you just want to educate them and talk to them about that and how 60-something% of all people that check into treatment say they started with something before opiates. So trying to get to the kids younger and plant seeds and let them know, talk to them about making good choices and peer pressure and coping skills and things along that nature. And also working with professionals. I've done trainings with emergency room staff, registered nurses, social workers, and just bringing them the education on the disease of addiction part, because a lot of them have a lot of mental health experience or a lot of mental health training, and maybe not as much drug addiction. Some of them I meet have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and I can learn something from them. But to bring to them what we're doing at Gosnold, the efforts that we have, the different levels of care from, acute detox and rehab and, inpatient, outpatient, all the different things there are. A lot of people don't even know what's out there or how to gain access to it. So it's about being visible. It's about reaching out to the community, supporting them and letting them know we're here to help. We have free family support groups up and down the Cape, Falmouth, Howard, Centerville. There's one in Situate that you can just walk in and get support and get help and maybe get some direction, and just really trying to be a presence out in the community.
More information can be found at the Gosnold website, gosnold.org. Thank you to FCTV's Bob Fenstermaker for his work on that piece. We've been receiving some great viewer content lately, and we'd like to encourage more Falmouth residents and visitors to send us their snapshots and videos from around town for our #MyFalmouth segment. If you're interested in having us feature footage or photos of yours from around town, email me at liz@fctv.org or use the hashtag MyFalmouth and Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our recent contributors. We're going to end this episode with some beautiful aerial footage of the Knob. Thank you to the team at SkyFlik.com for sharing the footage with us. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.